A very good evening to you all. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the organizers of this event for coming out with such a wonderful concept to motivate and create a new future for the youth of Vizag. I would not like to take much time before you hear to the renowned famed person on the dais. But I would just like to recount one small story. A story of two boys who have started off in a school in Vizag. Both have studied as classmates from 1st to 10th standard. One was always the topper in the school. He was the first ranker. The other one was a playful guy who used to have a lot of hobbies in terms of painting, sketching, and other things. As usual, you would expect the top ranker to always be the first, and he was very much dedicated. He went into his intermediate, got into a residential junior college, later went into an IIT, did his electronics communication, then later entered the civil services, and he made his career and life. The other person, who was almost in the middle of the pecking order, he too followed his passion. He was not the topper, but still he continued to pursue his passion. He also did his engineering from a university which is not probably as renowned as most of the parents would have recognized an IIT. But he never left his passion. He went on to do a course in designing, and it went in tune with what his passion was. And sooner than later, he designed the Scorpio vehicle, what we find of Mahindra and Mahindra. And his career still just bloomed. He was lapped up with Ford, General Motors. And now, both of us, whenever we meet each other, at this point in life, we always compare as to where we are in terms of what we really wanted and what we are born to do. I asked him, and he doesn't have the tension, and he didn't lose a speck of hair as I did. He was very relaxed, and in fact, if you look at him, he is almost like a 14-year-old boy. Both of us are around 45, 46 now. And he says he never feels any tension in his job. Because what is hobby, he says he just gets paid for pursuing his hobby. So there is an important lesson here for all of us, and especially the youth and the parents who are gathered here. Now is the time. Our country is not what it was maybe around 10 or 15 years back, when we were limping on the fringes of being an underdeveloped or a developing nation. If at all there is an economic environment, a political and a social environment for parents to let go of this maddening passion what they have for their children to either get into an IIT or to get into an All India Institute of Medical Sciences, or be a doctor or be an engineer, I think that is the most constricted vision any individual or an adult parent can have in the current environment. There is no doubt in aspiring, but pushing a child to do what he inherently is not. We are not questioning the capability of the child. I am only reflecting on the innate quality with which he was born with. All of us are born with innate qualities, and we almost 90% of us end our life in a frustrated manner, because there is a disconnect between what we do in a career on a day-to-day basis and what we actually are. Why I'm saying this is the right environment? Because all the bright, smiling young children here and the kids who are about to step into the world, this is an environment which was not there in the country for maybe around 20 years back. If you look at a bit back into the history, you would find wherever the centers of economic powers were, there the prosperity was the maximum. If you look at Europe for now, you would hardly find a person pursuing his career in one particular line of engineering or medicine. And these are all developed countries. They pursue music, painting, whatever their passion is. How many of us can actually guide our children into pursuing what you think their innate talent are? If you look at the current system of education, especially after the 10 plus stage, I'm sure 80 or 90% of us, all of us here, would be recounting the horror stories through which the children are put to. Is it not fair on our part to free the spirit within the children? After all, the best education takes place when the mind is free and the child has the right attitude. That itself would take a child to where he is. In fact, around a fortnight back, I was in Chennai and I was meeting with my director of IIT Madras, who happened to me by professor when I graduated in 1990 in electronics communication. And he told me a very pointed factor, which I would like the parents at least to be very wary of. 60 to 70% of the IIT graduates of whom we are proud of producing almost like an assembly line from Andhra turn out to be absolute failures in the first year itself. They struggle with the studies which an IIT demands. Because it is not because the child is bad, it is because of the pressure which is put on the children in the 10 plus 2 stage. I would again repeat that the best education would only happen when a mind is free and the child is receptive to it. And it is in this environment I would urge the parents to bring up the children with, because we were not the country what we are. We are not limited by producing only engineers and doctors. If you look at where the center of economic power lies today, it is in India. It was not the case maybe around 100 years back. In the 1600s, the power center of the world and the economic center of the power rested in the maritime nations in Europe, say Portugal, Dutch, Holland. That is where opportunities lay. And immediately after the Industrial Revolution and during the period, this center of economic power shifted towards United Kingdom or England, and it was based, and all the opportunities of the world were there. Move a bit into the next century and you would find, with the discovery of America, the land of opportunities, the center of economic power shifted there. Immediately after the First World War and maybe towards the Second World War, you would find the center of economic power shifting towards Japan, and later during the first half of the 20th century coming to the Southeast Asian tigers like Singapore, Malaysia. That is where the opportunities lay. But now, in this century, the opportunities are directly under your feet, because it is the century of the Indians and the Chinese. And as you must have already seen, it is not going to stay for long. Don't think the opportunity around you is forever. It never stayed. It started in Portugal, Holland, it moved to England, it moved to America, it moved to Japan, it came down. The line keeps moving. So this is your opportunity. And especially with the demographic dividend and the percentage of youth what we have, it is for the parents to guide the children to take up the passions what they're really born out to be, so that they would really grow out to be personalities of which everyone is proud of. Lastly, I would recommend all the parents and also the educationists here, even though he's not from our country, the best writing on education and value system is what I found in Abraham Lincoln writing a letter to his teacher, to his son's teacher, as to what he expects from education, what he expects his son to come out after the education is over. I would just try to read a few quotes. I'm not going to take much time, but I urge that all the students, teachers, as well as parents to go through the letter, because it puts everything in perspective. It is a letter which tells about the values that need to be inculcated in a child. It says it is better to fail than to cheat. It says to stand up for your right, for what you believe, despite the crowd around you milling on the other way. Read this letter, and I'm sure all of us would be much better off in the days to come. And I once again wish all the children, parents, and the teachers here a grand success in whatever they endeavor to do, and congratulate the organizers for putting this wonderful event together in this blessed city of destiny. Thank you.